Hi, this is Mark News from Plant Talk Radio. Thanks for subscribing and listening to our podcast, Your Gardening Questions from Plant Talk Radio. If you have a gardening question you'd like our host Fred Howard to answer, send him an email. The email address is fred@planttalkradio.com. Now for today's question.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing?
We're doing fine, except for the level above us.
Yeah,
how can we help you?
Hey, Fred, I had a quick question. It's probably a dumb question, but we've had two fruit trees in our backyard, both of them about 5 years old, a dwarf cherry and a golden delicious apple. Both trees blossomed, formed fruit, and then shriveled up and died, and we've lost the foliage on both of them. Are they dead?
Well, this doesn't sound good, Terry. Now, let me go back and try to question a little bit. When you say they flowered, was there good foliage at that time?
On the apple tree, yes. On the cherry tree, no, it was pretty sparse. Okay.
That is a sign of having had a hard winter. Last winter was not a hard year, so let's go from there. The leaves came on out, and then they shriveled and have dropped?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the fact that
they haven't dropped all the way on the apple tree, but the cherry tree is totally bare.
Okay. Not a good sign still. However, as I have mentioned before, sometimes when a disease hits the foliage, it can defoliate the tree and the tree still be alive. In a way, it's a good sign when the leaves do drop. That means there's a little touch of acid that forms within the plant that helps separate the leaf petiole from its base on the tree. And when that continues to happen, it could mean that the plant is alive and just going through, of course, a very tough time. However, I think it's time for you to take a real sharp knife blade and very carefully pick into the wood of the tree, back into last year's growth, just so it's big enough to tell, and see if you find green tissue beneath the bark. Check, half a dozen places. If there is green tissue, I think I would simply suggest you won't have to water, but I would do a little bit of fertilization and just wait, enter a status of prayer for the tree and see what happens. Now, on the apple scab has been quite bad this year on some trees. Many are resistant. Some have already defoliated. It depends on what one you have. I don't know Golden Delicious from something else, but it is more than likely alive and just simply pestered by the apple scab disease. It will limit this year's fruit and so on. I would make sure as the heat of summer comes on eventually, that you keep it moist and on through a light fertilization, October-ish, broadcast, or even, I'm going to call it drilled in, water injected, whatever, to give it a little pick me up. And then you'll just simply know in the spring what's happening. It is not a good scene, though, and let's just say that I would not, however, sharpen the saw yet. Okay. Wait and see. Give them whatever kindness it seems like they need. The cherry could refoliate. The apple very well may also. I've seen that happen quite frequently. So bear with them a little bit, but I don't have any real good news for you.
Okay, well, thank you, Fred. That gives me some idea what's going on anyway, because we just kind of both, we were ready to dig them up and replace them. So,
well, I would be a little slow to do that unless with that sharp knife you find that it is dead tissue down under the little twigs and stems and so on. Then you might as well go ahead and bare to space and ready to plant this fall. So make a decision, but check them hard and closely first.
Hey, thanks again for listening to our podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our other podcasts as well, the Plant of the Week podcast and the Plant Talk Radio podcast, all on iTunes or your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to sponsor a daily podcast, contact us at fred@planttalkradio.com. To find out more about Fred Howard and Plant Talk Radio, visit our website, planttalkradio.com.
Circle270media.com